away. And she told him, because you ran away and they were looking for you and they spent resources looking for you, that you have a warrant for your arrest. And if they catch you, you're going to jail. She had convinced the young man to wear an assumed name because he thought he was in trouble for running away. Rudy also said to us, me and the detective, on more than one occasion, he put his head down in tears right before he began to talk about him playing daddy at her request, and he got to be the husband. He has to be the husband, is what he said. He said, I don't want my mama to go to prison. I don't want my mama to go to jail. On yesterday, when the question was asked, was there a sexual relationship? The sergeant lied in his response. And then the next question was there a sexual relation between the mother and her son? They refused to answer that question and said he's a victim and we protect all sexual assault victims. See, they know what I'm saying is the truth. That dirty, low-down damn cop was right there with me when Rudy said everything that he said. Just go back and look at the press conference. Why didn't you say, well, from what we know, there was no sexual relationship? You so freely saying that there was no sexual abuse reported, so what are you suggesting? Because he was of age, he gave consent? Is that what you're trying to suggest? Let me tell you something. Rudy is a victim. And for HPD to suggest on any level that that young boy may be involved in this scheme, that's wrong. That boy wasn't involved in no scheme. That woman a straight up monster. I'm telling you straight up. That's what that woman is. Woman sit there and told Grizzly and I both multiple lies. Multiple lies. And then get in the room with the detective and she starts singing a whole nother song. Rudy, in my opinion, his safety is in danger. Until he can be removed and placed with loving family or put in a facility where he can receive the type of mental health treatment and drug detox treatment that he needs. He needs that help. And right now he's not getting that help. And what further angers me, you know, for that cop to hear about all the drug abuse and he ain't do nothing to get that boy no help. Should have called. I say, man, call the paramedics. Take this kid to the hospital. Look at him. Then she told a big lie when we first got there. And I hate to put you on the spot, Grizzly, but if it wasn't for Grizzly, I would have never got involved.
Thank you.
Let me say it again. If it wasn't for Grizzly, that mother never would have called me. But she called me thinking I was going to help cover up with the lies she would tell and defend her. Man, let me tell you something. Everyone should be praying for Rudy and should be outraged with how this is being handled. That woman should be under the jail. I'm telling you for a fact what this young man said to me. And I'm going to leave it at this. HPD, don't try me. Because I got it on record what he said to me. But for the sake of the victim, I'll respect that young man's dignity as my lawyers told me to. But if you try me with your lies again, I'll let everybody hear what that young man said. But I want to respect that young man's privacy, because what he went through should be for him to expose to a therapist and not for me to share with the public. But I covered my bases. I'll take your questions.
Why do you think HPD is lying?
I think HPD is embarrassed that they encountered Rudy on several occasions and did not do their due diligence. When they came to this address, had they done just some basic fundamental research, they would have seen that a child went missing from this address just years before. When they encountered him on other occasions, they didn't do their due diligence. They let that boy keep going with his mother. When neighbors would call in, when family would call in and say, hey, look, we got this tip about Rudy, they never even followed through. And in fact, they have to tell the whole world now why when Rudy was found, you waited 8 days. 8 days to question him. In fact, they wasn't going to even question Rudy. Let me be clear about that. They had decided that they were not going to question Rudy after the mother told them he's nonverbal. The mother told me and the detectives right in front of Grizzy, oh, he's nonverbal, he can't talk. And so I pulled up a chair and I sat down next to him, and he was holding his mother's leg and crouched all over, and she had covered him up with a blanket. And I said, little brother, can you look at me? And he raised his head up and he looked. He said, I know you. I said, you do? He said, I know you. You Mr. X. I said, wow, little brother, you speaking now. Am I lying, Grizzy?
Nope.
Then I said, well, young man, can I shake your hand? He put his hand out. He's shaking like this, like a leaf blowing in the wind. And I shook that young man's hand. I said, can you sit up and talk to me? And he looked at his mama. Then she said, no, he gonna have a panic attack. No, he gonna have a breakdown. I said, I think he'll be okay. I said, young fella, you'll be okay? He said. So I helped him up. And we set him in a chair. Then his mama said, well, we need to leave because I think he's gonna have a panic attack. Then the detective said this, well, okay, call us when you think he's better. Call us when you think he's able to talk. And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, at first he was nonverbal, but he talking right now. I said, give him a chance. The detective said, well, if it's okay with him. And I said, Rudy, would you mind talking to us? He said, yeah. He said, but I said, okay, just ask Grizzy. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, talk to the detective. I got up to walk out. Rudy grabbed my hand and said, no, I want him to stay. So for all of you people who putting it out there that I put myself into this case, his mama called me and Rudy demanded that I stay. And so I said, okay. I sat down next to him. And we asked the mother to leave. She didn't want to leave. We said, ma'am, it's important that you leave so we can see if he'll talk. He might open up. So she said, okay. She left. We started talking to him. She came back 3 minutes later, bamming on the door. We opened the door. She said, is he having a panic attack? We said, no, he's fine. Look at him. Rudy was calm. Rudy was calm. I said, look at him. She said, okay. She left. We started talking to him again. She come back 5 minutes later, bamming on the door. Is he okay? Is he okay? We say, oh, he's fine. Look at him. He's fine. We filming this too now. Because we knew what she was trying to do. So then we started talking to him again. And in that moment, it went on for a lengthy period of time then. For about an hour. Then she came back and tried to interrupt us again. We stopped her. Then it went on for another 15 minutes. Then I did not want Rudy to see me start crying. So I was started turning my back to him like this because of what he was telling me. Hell, I have grown sons. I have a 16-year-old son. And so he grabbed my hand again, and when I turned around, I was crying. And you know what he said to me? He said, it's okay. Don't cry. Everything I told you that young man said to me, he said right in that room. Everything. And when I got up and we exited that room, I stood in front of those detectives. And this is on camera. We got it on tape. I said, Sergeant, is there anything that you would not want me to say to the media that would jeopardize your investigation? He said, no. I said, sir, are you sure? Are you sure? He said, no. So we waited for like 5 or 10 more minutes because they took her into another room and they had detained her. They had detained her, put her in handcuffs.
Sure did.
Now here's the problem with that. If what the detective heard in that room was not a crime, well then why did he come out the room and put the mama in handcuffs?
Yeah.
This ain't passing the smell test, man. If what you heard, detective, was not a crime, why you put that woman in handcuffs? Because he heard the same exact thing I heard. So before I left out again, I said to all three of them, I said, is there anything that I should not say that would jeopardize your investigation? And on the third time, they said no. 3 times I asked them. So HPD, if you keep lying, we'll let everybody see how it all went.
And they are lying.
So, for the sake of Rudy, and I'll close on this last thing. I come out the room, the detective come out the room. As we step away, the door was still semi-cracked. She went in the room with Rudy. She sat down in front of him and started asking him about what he was telling us. Mm-hmm. Then she said this to him. Back me up, Grizzly, you were right there. She said, you got to change your story. If you tell them what you have told them, she's going to go to jail. She said, I'm going to go to jail and I will kill myself. That's what his mama said to him. And the detectives was right there at the crack door with us.
And I know she said that because she said it to me.
So, Rudy is a victim. Rudy needs help. That kid needs help. I've sat down with many, many men who confessed heinous murders to me. I've sat down with men who've told me about crimes they've committed that I've had to turn in that'll make you vomit. This ain't my first case like this. But Rudy is alive. But if he's allowed to be in that woman's custody at any length of time, he very well might not be. Because I believe she will harm that child to try to cover herself.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
So based on everything that you heard, what crime do you think was committed, and what do you think she should be charged with?
Well, well, she and I went over that, so I'll let Dr. Matthews handle it. We went over at length with some of that. But let me say this. Incest is a crime in Texas. Even if they want to try to imply subtly it was consensual. That's sick, man. That boy was not in his right mind. That boy was exploited and taken advantage of. And incest is one. There's still some wrestling about the age when this really took place. But making false police reports? Yes. Multiple false police reports? Yes. Making a false stolen car report? Yes. Absolutely. Lying and saying telling the bank my credit card was stolen and it wasn't stolen, you gave it to Rudy to have in his pocket to use to buy things for you. Then you sit there and tell detectives, oh, I canceled that credit card by 6-7 years ago. Damn credit card 2.5 years old. How he get it? From right out of here. That's how he got it. There's multiple crimes. Anyone from the family want to say something? I just want to give them a chance if y'all want to say something on behalf of Rudy or your family. Yes, sir. Next one.
Yeah, I know that what Rudy told you has touched you. Obviously, coming here outside of his mother's house is a pretty bold statement. Why did you pick this location to do this press conference?
Because this is where all of it took place. This is ground zero, man. for Rudy Farias and what took place. This house needs to be cleansed. This neighborhood needs to be healed. Everybody in this neighborhood has suffered because of what this woman did. And I came here to let Rudy know we're not afraid to come to your house of horror. Your house of horror right here, we'll come here. Your house of hell, we'll come here. And before I pulled up, I got a phone call before I pulled up saying that she was inside the house with guns. And that if I came to speak in front of her house, she had guns and she was going to use them. Let me tell that mama something real quick.
So we all got that.
You don't know who in the hell you playing with.
At all.
We're not afraid.
Let's be real crystal clear, mama, because you got the right one in me. Trust me. So if you inside and you watching, and you want to come out and feel froggy, hop, baby.
Leap.
Because we won't need HPD to do the best. Nobody at that point. She's so bold, she gonna make threats. That's because the police have not put a rusty raggedy behind in jail.
That's right.
She has not suffered no consequences. That's the problem why she talks so silly like that.
Yeah. As long as they keep covering
And I got
hiding
that
her
tip
for-
from a news station, so let's be, don't say I made that one up. Go
So
ahead.
can you clarify? You say you have Rudy's accusations on either video.
I didn't go that far.
Oh, can you clarify
What I
what
said,
you have? that-
no, what I'm gonna clarify for you is I got it, baby.
What does that
I
mean?
got the facts of it, and if I need to, I'll release it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going into further detail than that.
Why
But
not?
other than what
But we,
the-
but we got a whole lot recorded. But go ahead. Yes.
But other than just what he said and what he told detectives there, is there other evidence that you know of that police don't know about?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Let the family answer.
I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. But based on what I've been told, I talked with the investigator who worked on Rudy's case for years. She now lives in Alaska. She told me things that she said she reported to HPD over the years. And she wanted HPD to investigate the mother. She told them she thought the mother was involved. She told them of the warning signs and the red flags that she had discovered. They never followed through. So I think she needs to be interviewed in depth because she knows a whole lot. This woman was flying across the country, his mama, raising money. Really using those trips as vacation trips. All in New York raising money to look for Rudy. You understand me? There's a whole lot more to this story. But that investigator knows a great deal with whom I spoke with. And she is very knowledgeable about a whole lot of this stuff. But I'll let her speak for herself.
Have you shared these recordings with family members? Have they
No.
heard it? No. Why not?
Because my attorneys told me that I should not.
Why? I don't.
Because he is a victim of a sexual assault in our opinion and in their opinion. And that I should not for the sake of his personal privacy.
What's the difference between you describing what's in the tape and you just releasing the tape?
Because that's my right to do so. And I wanted to give, well, they told me no, don't do that. I'm following wise legal advice.
Who's your lawyer?
And that's none of your business.
Okay.
But Stanley Snyder. But anyway, Stanley Snyder. But no, told me not to. Yes.
Okay, I'm here. Y'all just asked, was there any other evidence or
How are
anything
you
else any
related
other
to
way?
them?
Yes, state how you're related.
So my name is Michelle Rodriguez, and I'm first cousin to Rudy Farias, Janie's niece. Prior to Rudy's disappearance, his so-called disappearance, his mother had been seen by my late grandma of causing abuse to Rudy, sexually, physically, mentally. This did not just start when Janie reported Rudy missing. It was going on for quite some time before then. And did it start at this house? No. But Janie needs to be brought in. And the police letting her go, the DA letting her go, letting her walk free because they don't have no proof and they say that Rudy there are no sexual assault proof. Y'all not gonna know that. I want to say something, but they're not gonna know that if they didn't take him to go get medically checked. And they refused to do that. And they let her walk. They're not gonna know what the hell she's really done if they didn't bring her in and put pressure on her to talk. which they're allowing her to do because they're covering up for themselves. They're covering up what they knew years ago, and they didn't want to come out forward. So the chief of police, the DA, and any other law enforcement that knew about this from back then, y'all are going to come out. It's all going to come out. You can't hide. Nothing's going to be hidden anymore. So whatever you think you can hide, good luck. It's coming out.
What do you know
Michelle, en
about Rudy's
español,
status right
te podemos preguntar, ¿están ustedes haciendo una acusación muy grave al departamento de policía diciendo que están ocultando información, de que están ocultando parte del testimonio que dio de Rudy? ¿Por qué creen que ocultan esa información?
Porque ayer el chief of police dijo que no había pruebas, que lo que dijo con el ex que no era cierto, cuando había alguien más adentro que escuchó todo y están diciendo que no oyeron nada, ¿ok? 1. 2, están diciendo que no ha pasado nada y que Rudy tiene la edad que él puede hacer lo que él quiere y que Janie no le hizo nada. Janie sí le hizo algo por muchos años y ellos están diciendo que eso no
¿Pero
es
por
un
qué
sexual
crees que
assault.
mienten? ¿Por qué crees que mienten?
Porque no quieren que salga lo que ellos hicieron, que Janie sepa, y lo que ellos hicieron aquí, la investigación que hicieron aquí en esta casa, no salió todo en el reporte como debería.
Como que cometieron errores en la investigación.
Sí.
Was CPS involved before he was reported missing?
I don't know. I haven't gone that far to check. But if they were, I'm sure it was just an in and out because she had HPD to back her up. For various reasons, because she has contact with HPD prior to her relationship with Rudy Farias, the HPD officer that committed suicide, who is Rudy's father. She's got other contacts in there, and they know that.
What do you know about Rudy's status right now? I'm a little confused. Police said he was with mom last night. right?
No, he's with a family friend.
Okay.
When police reported that he was safe with family, the initial report that they put he was safe with family, he was never with family. We have it on video who he was with and how he left the hotel. He didn't leave with no family.
The hotel the other day, I guess.
The hotel the other day. He didn't leave with family. He left with someone else who was a friend of his mother's.
Have you spoken to him since yesterday?
No.
No.
Also, let me tell you something I learned that was interesting to me from speaking with the investigator. Rudy's brother died in a motorcycle accident. His brother had an insurance policy. You know who the brother named, according to the investigator, as the inheritor of the policy? His little brother Rudy. Okay? But if Rudy dies, or if Rudy is no longer around and declared dead because he's missing, guess who inherited the money? His mama. When she discovered that, she told HPD to get in contact with her. They did not. There's a whole lot of stuff going on here that needs to be uncovered. Yes, sir.
Can you explain who's here with you today?
We have a couple of neighbors here. Let this neighbor come up. She was attempting to pay neighbors, let them be clear, in the last couple of days. She was offering neighbors money to break into the house